Hello, hello. Doing things a bit different today because I'm not doing too well. Like physically, I'm okay, but yeah. Long story short, I've been struggling with hyperthyroidism since 2019, and I went outside and picked up some shelves today, and I almost passed out while carrying them. So that's great. We love it here. Hold on, let me just So because there is no face cam today, there also is no ukulele cover at the end, unfortunately. I'm so sorry about that. I'm okay, just kind of shaking a bit, but it's fine. I am doing well. Should really try to get something to drink. Anyways, how are you doing today? Also, I just gotta say that you're too sweet, honestly. The fact that I'm the best of the best to you. I'm actually gonna cry. God, whoever decided we should have to go through that every month. I want to sue them. Alright. That's not it. I thought I pressed this. Whatever. And I went, there we go. What am I doing? I don't know. There we go. Also I need to turn that off, and there! Now we're talking. Okay, cool. Sweet. Ha! If it is God that made us, they better be prepared for a fist fight when I die. Amen! Alright, do we continue? Yes. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. So, like, I've been looking at this title for a while, and I'm like, the fuck does that even mean? Like, Kokoro as in heart? Is Kokoro another thing in this episode? I don't fucking know. I guess we'll just have to find out, right?
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Kokoro reminds me of the Kokiri. This forest spirits in Legend of Zelda. The Kokiri, yeah. Those police helmets look comfortable. Yeah, sure. Alright, we're back in the Lord Chief Justice's office. Pigeon Man. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day even in the middle of the night. I thought you said with all the gas lighting, and I was just like, girl, that's not a good thing. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. That's kind of cute. With all the gaslighting. Yep. Oh yes! It really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except... when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. I'm just here like, £3? Damn! That's a good deal. And then I'm just like, ah, yes, inflation. That's right. Never mind. How much was £3 at the time? You're always so quick on the Googling. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting. I just wandered in without thinking. Naruhodo. No. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. I mean, I'm sure McGilded would probably give you some money. Considering you got him off the hook. Like, technically speaking, would it be right? Not really, but at the same time. Damn, £1 in 1900 is worth 116, almost 117 pounds in 2017. Damn. So, like, take that and multiply it by 3. So it's at least, like, 300. Which is a lot. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. Yeah. Ah, good morning to you at this early hour. What's the voice I gave him? I don't remember. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Susato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Oh, yes! It was very eye-opening, thank you. Lord Pigeon. And, in accordance with your instructions, no, that's not... And, in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end. Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh! No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. Look at all those pigeons! My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. So I am a lawyer now. Holy shit! I want to say, was that all he had to do? But then also, like... just everything that fucking happened in that episode. It was just a lot. I've never watched Miraculous Ladybug, so I don't know what you mean when you say that he is a villain in that series. Like, I don't know, like... Ah, yes, a link. On. What the fuck is that? Pigeon Man! Oh, that was Pigeon Man, alright. Oh my god, what the hell? Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. He controls the pigeons. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. Well, Lord Franzix, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Fucking goblin. Look at him. I forgot he was Waluigi. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo. It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. Should have taken the money, that's all I'm gonna say. No! What? Mr. McGilded is... dead? I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Yes, the flaming wrap, the one that Lord Vampire was roasting some marshmallows together with Santa. Exactly. Okay, let's converse. McGilded's death. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Like a roast! Yes, of course, that was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No. How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded. That's awful! The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened? But it's also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus. Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard has any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. Poor Mr. McGilded. Alright, let's talk about the court. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... wow! Misenaruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow! Susato-san has such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. That is kind of unsatisfying. We never really found out how Mason was killed or if McRoasted had anything to do with it. I assume it would come back. Like, surely they're not just gonna leave it like that. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. The most advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. You call that simple? That shit was not fucking simple. That was stressful as all hell. God. Simple? That was simple? Thank you, Susato. As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. So... I mean, I did search up what would happen. But, the most advanced in the world would have sent a man to the gallows because he did not have a defense attorney. True. True. I mean, I'm pretty sure I lost the trial at least twice. Like, technically speaking. Literally, then no, I won it once. And I assume that, like, no matter what I chose, it would have ended, like, pretty much the same way. Apparently there was some new dialogue, though. So that's interesting. But yeah, I had to go and read up on it last time, and it basically said that, like, it doesn't matter what you choose. And I was just like, oh no, I don't know what to choose, you guys. I mean, it was just like kind of like I wanted to include you, and also, you know, I didn't want it to be my decision alone. so I just stopped talking. Hold on. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. I am low-key tempted to go back and see what would happen if I chose the other one. I mean, I think it would actually be kind of simple because, like... Hold on. No, I'm not gonna do it now. Is something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent, wouldn't you agree? Hold on, wait, I think I skipped something. No, okay, it was just I just want to see, like, how long this episode is. Or this part in particular. It doesn't seem too long, but who knows? Yeah, I mean the innocent or guilty choice, because according to the strategy wiki, it says, no matter what you plead, McGilded erupts into laughter and asserts that your words are a formality, nothing more. Since the trial cannot continue, the jury is needed to declare the verdict, therefore not guilty. So, yeah, I figured it made no difference, but I still want to know, you know. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent, wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth, which is precisely why I have prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? You get a McRoasted shocked face, and then he starts laughing and telling you that it's a formality. I see. Yeah, I figured like it didn't really like matter much, but like, you know. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Please, just fucking give us details. Details, that's all we fucking want. Give us details and give them now. Sorry. Don't tell me it's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died as yet. And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. So the trial's tomorrow then. Is everything alright? Oh, yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was... Well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I still don't understand really why they're like speaking in English to each other, because I assume that when they use like Japanese honorifics that they're actually speaking in Japanese. So her saying Mr. Naruhodo, that would mean that they're speaking in English to each other, which I find kind of odd, but also like I guess it makes kind of sense because they want to like use the language as much as possible. I don't fucking know. Anyways, I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial. Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with just yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh! I did Swedish for English at the first possible point. I mean, yeah. That does make sense. If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Here we go again. Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I talk Dutch with my parents and my siblings and my parents are around. English with my siblings and friends. Swedish is more of a I have to know language since I live here. Oh, so okay. Cool. I was wondering like that was 19 minutes. Listen. It's not real time, alright? They're just really slow. I don't fucking know. Sorry, I just thought of something really stupid. You know how there is like money inflation? Maybe there was time inflation. So like what was 19 minutes back then is not actually 19 minutes now. That's so dumb. I apologize. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time I mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. Even the time has inflated. Capitalism really is fucking things up. It really is. Huh. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. It's so hard for me to do that for some reason. I don't know why. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh, another thing. Continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he sent something to me. There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important. And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to... You're out of time. Hold on, wait. Let me read that again because I didn't get that. If he'd ever made it to Great Britain, that's it. Okay, cool. You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell. Bye, Pigeon Man. There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I mean, he must do that because like there is no way that a fucking British person would be able to say naruhodo. Right? Like I believe there is like a voice line of Sherlock. No, Herlock. I'm sorry, apologies. Who the fuck is Sherlock? Herlock saying naruhodo or something, which I find really funny, but it's just really hard for me to actually pronounce it that way because I'm too much of a weeb. I apologize. I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Poor kid probably has had his name Englishfied by now. Isn't it Anglified? Isn't that like the actual term for it? Yes, you're right. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. He has the fucking fish and chips. Sorry, that's way too funny. I can't. It fucking is. Could we drop... Sir? What? Hello? Okay. What do you think? Ah! Lovely weather, isn't it? Infinite fish and chips. He's not even finishing the first one! This man is a wizard, not a cop. Yeah, for sure. What's the weather got to do with anything? Ah! Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know. But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here, having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. With that ripping sound, that's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I'm trying not to think too much about the racism. Because unfortunately it was a thing back then, you know. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Eh? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Eh? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It is unreasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How did you pull that off? I mean, I assume so. So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Oh yeah, it definitely is. But... hold on, let me just check something real quick. Yeah, like, I was like, Lestrade. I was thinking that was the detective. Yeah, exactly, Gina Lestrade. I was like, wasn't her name Lestrade? Because I remember like seeing Lestrade and I was just like, oh, it's a detective. And then it was Gina and I'm like, who? Who are you? Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Miss Susato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him! Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Rand's magazine? Yep, you got it. He is from the Sherlock series. The hell just made that noise? That's right! Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible! Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course. But he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. So, basically, what a compliment. Yeah. You're not as bad as the rest. The others, though, oh god, they're shit. You're not as bad. I mean, you're kind of shit too, but like, you're like less shit than the others, you know. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it's not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. Tell me about the case. So about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital, unconscious. That's despicable! What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question. Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Baruch von Zeeks. No! Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord von Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Bailey. Tell me about Vampire Man. Lord Baruch von Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When von Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused as sacrificial lambs. And on every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord von Zieks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. What of it?
Oh, well, I think... that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Ah! Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if von Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. That's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? Right, well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already. He's as good as, shaken like a leaf in his cell he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53, thank you.
So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there is no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage too.
But if the man they've arrested is innocent... You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in a cell, and I for one wouldn't find the sight of that funny. Something is troubling me, Susato. Why is Lord von Zieks so damn hot? It's not fun, it's like fun, right? So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help?
Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant.
Thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes! Let's go!
Let's go to the crime scene first. So this is where it happened. Briar Road.
Ah! Look! Mr. Naruhodo! Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
That is their job, you know?
But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close.
She's like the opposite version of a weeb.
To a real Bobby's helmet.
What? The helmet?
Of course.
I just want some hot milk, but since maintenance still have not replaced my microwave, I need to warm it on the stove like it's the 1900. Well, you know, why not?
I have to try one on one day.
Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. I don't see Inspector Gregson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing?
Why should we sneak?
I don't want to upset one of those bobbies and be butted on the head by one of those metal helmets. My skull would crack in two, I'm sure.
Oh no, an English bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know.
That's not where I went to do. There we go, examine. Alright, let's start up in the corner and go across like this. Oh, there is more.
Oh, that's the Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals.
You're very well informed, aren't you?
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it?
Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone, Susato! No! No, I wasn't serious. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I wanted to say like an Anglophile, but I was like... I mean, kind of, but like, I wanted something more like... I don't know. Mimi sounding? I don't fucking know.
What a delightful snowman!
I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though.
Oh, it has a scarf! Look!
You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one.
I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf.
Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
But the person who made the snowman certainly would.
Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all.
Ugh. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred.
Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it?
That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oi! What are you foreigners doing here?
Ah!
Oh, we, just investigating conspiring with that mustached fella from Japan, are you? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an Aiden. Huh? Go on.
He shooed us away like rats.
Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think.
What a disappointing experience.
There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks.
It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow.
I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Surely, it must have been an age before it. But it still doesn't make any sense. Like a hiding? What? I don't know.
Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. I worry a coachman might not see you and you could be flattened by horses.
What does that mean before I give you a hiding? Or is that like a way to like write hitting? No, I don't know. Oh, a good hiding is a term that basically means slapping or threatening to hit someone. Interesting. The more you know. We learned so much by playing this game. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Alright, there we go. Whoa, building.
That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting story.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks indecidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible.
Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonable level floors. Do you see all the black smoke rising from the chimneys over there?
It says here that in Great Britain, many people heat their homes in winter using coal.
The only chimneys I really remember seeing in Japan were on top of the bathhouse. Do you think some of those houses could be on fire?
Not at all.
Well, even so, that much thick smoke billowing up to the heavens is surely going to turn the whole sky black sooner or later. Damn! Damn, you're so woke!
Gosh, you may be right about that.
The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy.
Well, it is known as Foggy London Town.
I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built though. Oh, is that the Big Ben?
Aha! Yes! That must be the Crystal Tower.
Oh, it's a Crystal Tower. Never mind. I was like, tower? Big tower? It was like, surely Big Ben existed by this point, right? When was it built? You're right. I forgot about that.
That must be the Crystal Tower being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time.
Yeah, I figured it was built like earlier, but didn't it burn down at some point too? Or if it, I don't know if it actually burnt down, but I know that there was like a fire in London at some point. At one point that was, I'm not sure.
Apparently it's going to be very striking. placed on all sides and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition.
It's to be the largest explosion in in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. Oh, look at the windows of that building over there.
Are you sure they're windows?
Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks.
Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment.
There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though.
Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign here. Foreign, there's so much we have to learn about this place.
Okay, why did they do that, though? Surely there must be a reason for it. I'm literally just going through, seeing if there's anything new. I can see the bike. I'm just scanning across. Oh, okay, so the Big Ben wasn't involved in the fire. Okay, I see. Because it was 25 years prior.
Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore.
Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Sir, like, your great-great-grandson relies on his bike as well as the Dutch, yeah.
Goodness! Do you dislike bicycles?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me.
We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around.
Okay, so I assume we have to go and talk to the suspects. Sure, stilts and bikes have something in common, according to Naruhodo anyway. You both take your feet off the ground. That's it. That's what they have in common. So these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
I mean, you're not wrong. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat, as yet with no name? Calling me by a number, it's utterly unbelievably unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Who is this? I'm so excited to see who it is.
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Ah! Excuse me, but who? Shh! Quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now. I can sense it. Right. So, could I ask you who exactly? Theora, you've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost! A ghost? Sir?
I mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance?
This is beyond my wildest dreams! Forgive me for the outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. I don't know if I should give him a British accent or give him an American one, because that's kind of my way to, like, make it seem like characters speak differently. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about right now. I'm sorry. I'm rambling. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. He's American now. I'm sorry. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nippon! Is he dabbing? A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yes, I can, I will! Shan't stay sullen and silent!
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I am a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. Well, technically, I guess you're right, but like, it's more with writing than the actual books themselves. A nom de plume? You mean an alias?
That's right, Naruhodo-san.
No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku, that really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this! It's beyond the pale! Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something, does it mean you can do it? No!
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no! They told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washi. Damn, he fucking got us. He got us with the with a hand gesture. What? He got us with the that. Oh yes, oh, I'm often told. Wait, you must be a man of great standing. Sorry, I forgot to read that. Had to do it to him. And I often like to be told, it seems.
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
Apparently, Soseki was like a real person too. I've seen this like vaguely on Twitter and stuff. And whereas, or was he a real person? Or was he, I don't fucking know. Something like that anyways. I believe he was though. Yeah. Whereas fucking Sherlock Holmes is protected by copyright, he is not. He really was a Japanese writer, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no. No, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife! The most famous author of the Meiji period, yeah. Makes sense. Right before my eyes!
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? No, I know, but it's just kind of funny that like they could do like whatever the fuck they wanted with Soseki. But they can't do that with Sherlock Holmes. Sholmes. It's the curse! The curse of London! It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient! We love alliteration. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
It's vital that we find out more about the case.
About the case. Began signing his poems with the name Soseki, which is a Chinese idiom meaning stubborn. Idiom. I know English. But Soseki, that's Japanese though. Though I guess like in Chinese, if you like not translate, but if you like read the kanji as Hanji, Is that how you pronounce it? Then... I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I've been to the bookshop to buy some books and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat. She was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible! I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Why does this fucking give me the same vibes as Fairly Odd Parents? Or Fairy Odd Parents? No, Fairy Godparents. That's it, right? The 2 years I spent in London were the most unpleasant years of my life. Among English gentlemen, I lived in misery, like a poor dog that had strayed among a pack of wolves. Seems like the bait Soseki on real life Soseki a lot. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps? I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs could carry me back to my accursed lodgings. He had a miserable time in London, spending most of his days indoors, buried in books, and his friends feared that he might be losing his mind. Huh. Okay, so this is actually in character. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous! You think I know any of these fair-haired English, and a young woman at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, and sure. I can't talk to people, God! He is the biggest mood. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great.
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else in the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? What do you mean, Suzuto-san? What's the conundrum?
Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. You? What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh, yes! She's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective. Could it be? I should never forget that man's name as long as I live. with his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody, be gone! You'll be cursed until the end of your days. Herlock Sholmes. I knew it.
Mr. Sholmes.
Herlock Sholmes. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. "This is the police, put the weapon down!" Yes, it was a thin sliver. And yes, it was hard. But I wasn't eating a weapon! Disgusting dietary discrimination devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes! It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman! Me? This weak, stooped kitten of a man! I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, film-flammery. Flim-flammery, not film. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Sorry, this gives me like the same vibes as when like some white American mom goes just anywhere else that isn't America and is like, why do they not speak English here? Like, everyone spoke Spanish for some reason. Like, that doesn't make any sense. They don't do that back home. Like, good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. Okay, Apollo Justice. Because you were in Spain, ma'am. Yeah, exactly. People go to Spain and are like, why are people speaking Spanish? Like, that's so weird. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles. And before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear. I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple mister is more than enough. God, I saw like one. I don't know if I sent it to you or if it was someone else. I don't know. But it was so fucking funny. People were like so confused that things weren't the way that they wanted them to be. And they just like couldn't wrap their heads around it. I think like someone complained about the beach being too sandy or something. Like, what did you expect? It's the beach. Oh, yes, all right. Yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why? Why? Why is it so hard to just say yes to me?
Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour.
A student?
I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I am confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I am a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose.
What the fuck does that mean? But that armband! That's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh, who do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me.
Goodness! Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. Locum, a person who stands in temporarily for someone else of the same profession. Especially a cleric or doctor. Okay, I see. So kind of like a substitute? For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Sosuke-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. That's awful. They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. Damn. This is so real. I mean, duh. Also, I just want to like specify what I meant when I said that I'm trying not to like think too much about the racism. It's not because I'm just like I turn a blind eye. That's not it. It's just like it's too real, you know? Like this still is very much an issue to this day. So, yeah. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Sosuke-san, it's just that...
Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can. For the time being. What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it would give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, yes! Thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Even in Nordic countries who are said to be really tolerant, it's still an issue. Yeah. Though, to be fair, I wasn't really, like, aware of it until I, like, saw, like, some kind of car against, like, the Norwegian police, and I was just like, I didn't realize it was such a problem here as well. You can just say America, it's fine. Sorry. What's the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson!
This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course! We're here to investigate.
So you've been to the holding cells then? What'd you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Oh, the stone-cold air of rejection.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air.
That makes it worse somehow. Okay. Can you... I guess I have to talk to him then.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated police organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh yes! Doesn't he look wonderful?
Oh, he does keep his book in his hat. You're right. Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes around and rouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yup, raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself, going back a bit.
I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
Yokohama... Oh. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. 32 kilometers. You're so fast! And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my!
And I suppose in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well.
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
You do Google at the speed of light. I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. Fastest Googler in the West. You really are. They're expected to handle these jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. happened at around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? Are you sure? It's the odd policy to give lawyers, defendants, suspects the odd bit of information to go on. I haven't exactly accepted the job yet, but still.
Thank you, Inspector.
I wasn't paying attention to his animations.
We gratefully accept.
Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countryman. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around,
but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. Hold on. Yeah, there were people around, but they were just like, no, it has to be the foreigner. Of course. There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife. And the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. Oh, well, and it obviously can't be him. Fuck off. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Huh? Exactly. Case in point, a policeman. That might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked.
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them bang in the act and all that. God, fuck these. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh. And no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems.
A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh, yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect, I heard that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What are you bringing him up for? Was it something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. Let me talk about tomorrow's trial first. God, I'm getting really tired. I don't like stopping like mid chapter or whatever, but I'm really tired. I only slept like 2 hours today. And also there's the whole thing of me almost passing out from carrying shelves, so A twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. Yeah, I know, I just want to finish like this part. It should be over really soon. I just need to like talk to him again soon. And that's pretty much it. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a... Huh? He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Wait, did I not read that correctly? He hasn't appeared in court once. Oh, he was gone, okay. That's it, okay, cool. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. That was really confusing for some reason. And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals?
The violent ones?
That's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, Sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's gotta be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Mr. Sholmes. Who did you hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Susato, you have experienced those in person, and you're still as impressed? When he fucking missed all of them. And Naruhodo had to be there to put him on the right course. Fiddle faddle.
No!
The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he?
He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble!
No!
Ever seen this before? Yes, that's Rand's magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective.
Mr. Naruhodo, Can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes. What is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly.
Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again.
The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address even.
It's Baker Street.
How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street. The most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Hooray! I'll summon a carriage.
So we're to have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there because I am not doing too good. I'm really, really tired, unfortunately. So, with that, I guess I'll see you again at what point? I don't know. Either tomorrow or this weekend. I think. I don't know. I'll have to know when RT is gonna be playing more Miitopian X. I'm too invested in it. I can't just not watch it. I mean, to be fair, I like slept through most of his stream yesterday, but that's beside the point. Yeah, it was fun though. Kind of a short stream today, but it'd be like that sometimes. I still wanted to stream. I said I was gonna stream some. Might as well. Anyways, hope to see you then, and take care. Bye-bye.